afternoon, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. Host Fred Arnold on the Santa Cruz Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. Today I'm joined by Coach Ron Tunick.
Yes,
Ron
sir.
Tunick, motivational business speaker and author.
What an honor to be here. What an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
I've heard nothing but great things about you in the community.
Vice
you do
versa.
so much for Santa Clarita.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
It's my passion. It's my passion.
That's why this is a great place to live and work and,
Isn't it?
and raise a family.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, with over 200 charities in town, you can always get involved, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Well, I want to talk, I'm going to have a couple segments with you. I'm really fortunate to have that. And I want to talk about a TV you helped, a radio show you helped produce some time back.
Richest man in town.
Yeah, The Richest Man in Town, a book that was written about that.
Yeah.
And some of the lessons you learned from that. I guess you interviewed about 100 millionaires.
We interviewed, in the course of a year, we interviewed about 45 100 millionaires and 5 billionaires. Like you, Fred Arnold.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Should have had you on the show.
Hey, I'm a millionaire at heart, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So I'm sure you
He's more than a millionaire at heart, ladies and gentlemen. He's the real deal.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm sure you got some unbelievable wisdom.
I did. You know, first of all, it was a privilege and an honor to talk to these men and women. But what I found out is they're just like you and I. They just function at a different level. Their way of thinking, their way of doing business. There were several things. One was they were very careful about their peer group, which I know you and I both think about that. Who they hung around with, what they listened to, what they read. It was a big part of their life. Who they chose to be involved in their life was a big part of their life. Incidentally, I want to give a shout out to Joyce, my walking partner. You know her, don't you?
I do. I do.
Big shout out
She
to you
helps
there,
schedule
girl.
everybody for the show.
Isn't she beautiful?
She's
and great.
Yeah, she's
and
great.
smart.
Yeah.
But who you hang with is very, very important. So that was something that really came across to me. They function differently. I think what really, at the end of the day, what amazed me was they were just down to earth. Every single one of them was down to earth. Nobody had an attitude. Nobody thought they were greater, bigger, smarter. They were just down to earth people, but they did function at a different level. And what I mean by that is that they didn't look at a work week like Monday through Friday. You know, they completed their task. If it was a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday morning, whatever it took to get the job done, Fred, that's how they handled it.
You know, I want to ask you about a few things. One you had mentioned was likability.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability to smile and want to be around others, and others want to be around you.
You know, I would say, and I've got kids in school, I would say that if you're going to learn anything in life, I think the most important thing, especially if you're in business and you know this, you do business with people that you like. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, likability is such a critical factor in being successful. You hire the people you like, you keep the people you like, and you promote the people you like.
You know, you mentioned something big. I asked all on my mortgage team, write down your 50 favorite friends, clients, and people you know, because they're the easiest to call to generate conversations to see if you can help them. That is something that is so important in life, is to be around that. And the other thing you mentioned is the work week. They didn't look at it as being working a job.
No.
They look at it as they're creating something. You can work for somebody and still feel like you're creating something, can't
And that
you?
is a great way to express it. They really were creating something. They were never, not one of them was ever focused on the money. And that's another thing that I took away from that year interviewing these very successful business people. It was never about the money. It was always about their dream. They had a passion to succeed, just like you. You're very successful in the mortgage industry, and I know for you it's never about the money. You're literally trying to help people, educate people, not only in Santa Cruz but nationwide, to do a better job at borrowing money. So you're a good example of somebody that's not focused on the money. None of these 50, 100 millionaires or 5 billionaires, it was all about their project. And they stayed focused. I think that's the one word that I put in front of my desk every day. I've got to learn to do a better job myself of staying focused on my own task.
Entrepreneurs struggle with that. They struggle with that because their minds are racing. They're really thinking. I want to go back to something you said originally, and that is who you hang out with. You are the 5 people you interact with most. And if there's someone in your life that maybe isn't going in the same direction as you, you can always gravitate towards others. It doesn't mean you say, look, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, but you can always gravitate to those that'll lift you. And you've heard this saying before me. Tell me what you think about this. And that is, successful people will give you the secrets of success because they want you to be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Successful people share. Successful people want to make the world better. They really do. And they want to make everybody around them better. But, you know, we get caught up in sabotaging ourselves because we're afraid if we have a friend, a family member, especially a family member that says, you know, you can't do this, you can't do this. And, you know, when they wear on you day after day after day, whether it could be a spouse, it could be a very close relative, you have to be strong enough to believe in your own plan, in your own dreams, and find a way to get help. And when you're working diligently, day in and day out, and you stay focused, and let's get back to this word focus, the universe will come and help you. But if you get out of focus, which is easy to do today.
Very easy. You look at your hand. What's in your hand? You got a phone in your hand, and it's beeping, and it's going off, and it's this, and it's that. And it really sidetracks you. So technology has caused a great deal of distraction in our lives. And I think we have to look at managing that much better. And it goes to the idea of focus.
You are spot on. And I talk about the four things in staying focused. One is being spiritually focused. Two is being physically focused. You are very physically focused, better than I. I'm trying to
hang out with me.
I'm trying that, buddy. I'm trying. So is Joyce. So mentally focused, physically focused, spiritually focused, and emotionally focused. Those are the four things. If you're out of focus in any one of those four things, it's very disruptive in your life.
So let's go over that again. Physically focused.
Physically focused. You've got to work out every day. No excuses. You've got to find a better way to take care of yourself. Look, this is our engine. And
we only have one.
That's right. And we only get one shot at it, too. On top of this engine is our brain. And how you feed that brain, we'll talk about in the next session, but how you feed that brain and how you feed your body and how you honor your body has an effect on all the other three things. Right. So that's the physical part. Exercising, no excuse. In my office, I've got a medicine ball. You ever used a medicine ball?
Love it. They're great for sit-ups.
Unbelievable.
They're great for stretching.
Unbelievable. For a 10-minute workout with a medicine ball, Fred, is a pretty good start of the day. Walking. Everybody can walk. I walk 2, 3, 4, 5 miles a day. Sometimes I don't go to the gym, but I'll get to the office an hour early. So this is what people who have a passion to succeed do, is they manage their time differently. You know, a lot of people say, well, I can only get up at 7 this morning. Why can't you get up at 5? Why can't you start your day an hour earlier and get that physical?
For me. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, we're going to jump to a quick break. I want to continue this conversation because this is fabulous. Do you mind,
No,
Coach?
I'd love to stay.
All right, we're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS. Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. Your host, Fred Arnold, on the Santa Cruz Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight.
And it is a beautiful morning.
It is. You know, I have a kick in my step today because I'm talking to Coach Ron Tunick. Coach Ron is a motivational speaker, a wealth of information, knowledgeable man, but and also an author. We're going to talk about your book in the next segment.
And a new book's coming up, too, called Whale Brain.
I like that.
You have a whale brain.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you. But let's go to, you helped produce a show, and a gentleman authored a book called The Richest Man in Town, and some of the lessons you learned. I want to go back to the power of focus. You mentioned 4 keys to the power of focus, and let me see if I remember them. Treat your body physical, mental,
spiritual,
relational,
emotional. Yeah, emotional.
Let's go.
That's where we sabotage ourselves.
I think
on the emotional. Yeah, that's where we wind up. We have a bad morning. We get up, things aren't right. Maybe we kicked the cat accidentally. Your wife said, Fred, take out the trash, and you're going, I don't have time. Fred, take out the trash, right? Then you get driving to work, you have this emotional,
fired up.
Right? Yeah. So, managing your emotions is critical because we're humans. We get high, we get low, we get in between, we have good hours, bad hours, good days, bad days. But these whales, these multi-hundred millionaires, they were able to manage their emotions. You know, one of the best advice I ever got, Fred, when I was a young man was wait 3 days and do nothing.
Don't respond to text messages and or emails right away, right?
Wait.
think about
well,
that.
you know, when you have to look, you're one of the most successful mortgage consultants, brokers in the United States of America. And when somebody's going to get a mortgage from you, I guarantee you sit down with them and no snap decisions, no snap judgments. You probably say the same thing I do to my clients. Take your time, think about it, right? You're an educator like I am. So when you do your homework, when you do your discovery, when you do your research, you're in a better place to make better decisions. These 100 millionaires make better decisions.
Let's talk about some individuals are really down. They're physically overweight. They're not eating right. They're emotionally disappointed because they're physically overweight. They're not possibly going to church and or what makes them spiritually whole, whatever that is.
Correct.
Walking in the garden, going to church, whatever that something is. So they're not thinking right. Combination of all those. Can't you start chipping away a little bit?
In 1 minute, you can change your life in 1 minute by changing your thoughts. You have to figure a way to do this. So if you don't have great support in your life, if you don't have a great mentor, if some reason your family is not behind you, go to a bookstore today. There are thousands and thousands of books that you can start reading. That's what changed my life. The one book that changed my life at 25 years old was Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
So books became my mentor. I grew up with no father as a foster kid. I've read literally, as Joyce in my library, I have 1,000+ books in my library. I've read every single one of them.
I've read the Cliff Note version of many of those. But I try to absorb.
I know you better than that. I know you've read a lot. But reading is literally today. Go buy a book.
So let's talk about that because baby steps. One thing I found on my iPad or on if you're driving in the car, get something you can listen to and fill your mind with great. I listened to one called Brian Tracy on success.
Yes.
And I
had Brian Tracy on my show many times.
It was a cassette.
Yes.
No, Brian Tracy is amazing, right?
Yeah.
And he's still with us.
Yes.
It was a cassette, and it's still relevant. Success principles were relevant today when Henry Ford was developing the automobile, when they were developing McDonald's. The McDonald's brothers, well, of course, someone else took it over and developed that. These same success principles were there. And I want to transition into something that is
personal responsibility. Yeah. Every single name that you're bringing up took personal responsibility. So you stop. How do you start today? Buy a book. Stop making excuses. Yep. Right this minute. No more excuses.
Yep. Take responsibility. And let's talk about building teams.
Okay.
Because that was what I want to transition into.
That's your strength. I ought to be interviewing you.
Thank you. We have a great team at American Family Funding, and great partnerships throughout
and
the
a great office.
Yes.
Your office is so beautiful.
Well, the people in there are beautiful.
Yeah.
The office is just...
Big shout out to Tammy, too. Is she listening?
No, she might be. She's probably working.
Yeah.
She's been with us 15 years, 14 years now.
You've got more in that table covering your pool table than I do in my home.
Thank you.
How many trees did you cut down? Anyway, go ahead.
So let's talk about some of the richest man in town. You mentioned Lucas Oil, the gentleman that created Lucas Oil. He was a truck driver.
He was a truck driver. Great story. Driving his a diesel truck across the Mojave Desert, him and his wife, and their truck would break down, and he blamed it on the how do you say it? The oil? I can't pronounce the word. Viscosity.
Viscosity of the oil.
Do you like that? Viscosity. So
consistency of the oil.
You're right. Consistency. Thank you.
For the layman.
For the layman. So he wanted to come with a better oil to protect his own trucks. He was interested in his own trucks. So he was a tinker. He started building a little chemical lab in his kitchen. He started tinkering with different kinds of oils. Got frustrated, couldn't figure it out. But here's the thing, Fred. He didn't quit. He didn't quit. He decided that he was going to find a better way, a better method of tinkering. So he started going to junkyards. He started emptying oil in every truck he could find and brought the oil back to his kitchen. Make a long story short, came up with the formula for what we now know as Lucas Oil. And he's a billionaire.
Lucas Oil happens to be the home of the
Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, he owns the Colts. Yeah. And he is as down to earth as anybody I've interviewed. He's like you. I mean, he's just a regular guy. And he's no smarter than you or I, but he stayed with his passion. He had a dream. And let's go back for a couple of minutes, because you said, what if somebody's stuck in their life? If they're stuck, they probably don't have a dream. They don't have a dream. You have a dream.
Yep.
You want to make the world better, but you also want to make people smarter when it comes to borrowing money.
Yeah. Well, purpose.
You have a purpose?
I think purpose is critical.
Yeah.
What is your purpose in life? We all have purpose, but we forget what that is. You know, my purpose is to help inspire others to live
Right.
an inspired life and to live my life in a way in which my 4 children are inspired to do great things. I mean, that is my purpose. That is what I wake up to do every day.
And that's what drives you.
Yeah.
And so my purpose is to help people think better. I wrote the book In the Thinking Room. So if you're listening to Fred and the coach right now and you're frustrated and you're stuck in your life, I want you to do 3 things. One is call 15-minute timeout. Go to a quiet place, any quiet place, and think that you are here on earth for a purpose. You have greatness inside. I really believe, Fred, that everybody has greatness inside of them. Everybody.
Greatness and talents. You just got to figure out what those are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your passion, talents? What's your purpose? Oh, we're going to jump to.
We'll pull it out of you too.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
Yeah. Coach Ron will help pull it out of you. We're going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the thinking room.
In the thinking room.
In the thinking room. All right. I love it. And a new system for success, Coach Ron Tunick. We'll jump to a quick break. This is Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS. It'll soon be here. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. I love that. Fred Arnold joined by Coach Ron Tunick.
How about a shout out to Carl Jellings?
Kyle.
I got the last name.
At least you can say Jennings, right?
Forget it. Never mind.
Yeah, he's great. He runs everything. He's doing a great job behind the scenes.
I like his music. I love his music.
I love it.
Kyle Jellings.
So I'm with Coach Ron. Coach Ron wrote a book called In
the Thinking Room. Yeah, In the Thinking Room.
So we're going to do something different, rapid fire.
Let's go.
I don't want your answer to be more than 30 seconds.
Go.
We're going to talk about each chapter. Let's talk about the book.
I wrote the book because for the last 25 years I've been discovering human nature. I got stuck in business. I'm sure you have from time to time too. So when I got stuck, I had to bail myself out. You know, my wife wasn't going to bail me out. My kids were going to bail me out. I had to bail myself out. So I had to change things. I had to change the way that I think.
You love that. Well, tell me about Think Week.
Think Week, every year I take 1 week off, either go to Lake Tahoe, Monterey, or Oregon by myself. And, you know, you meditate, I meditate. It's a form of meditation. I need to get in touch with myself. I need to be honest with myself, Fred.
Let me just throw something that's not in the book, spirit. That kind of brings your spirit back.
Oh,
it's
my
about
God,
your spirit, not your ego. It's about who you are within yourself, and you have to love yourself.
I want to be authentic with me.
Yeah.
I have to be the most authentic person with me.
And honest.
Oh, my God. If I'm BSing me, it ain't going to work.
Without a doubt. Pacing.
Pacing is what changed my life. We today, 2014, November, we're going too fast. Mm-hmm. So how I taught myself to pace is I don't drive fast anymore. I don't drive fast. I let everybody pass me up. And when they're passing me up, I'm going, where are they going? Why are they in such a hurry? Mm-hmm. When you're in a hurry, you miss everything. You miss the trees, you miss thinking, you miss relationships. When you're in a hurry, you can't build relationships. You've got to stop today and treasure those relationships. You can't be in a hurry to build a great, lasting relationship.
No,
you and I are going to have a great, lasting relationship, but I'm not going to hurry and you're not going to hurry. We're going to do it one day at a time.
And at the end of the day, that's most important.
It's the only thing that's important. Your family is number one, because at the end of the day, it's all about your family. And people go too fast. That, you know, you've got to make time for your kids. You make time for your wife. Every single day, my wife and I spend 2 hours together every afternoon. That's our time.
Beautiful. Every single afternoon. Let's talk about Date Your Decision.
Discovery. You cannot make important decisions based on what your friends say, what you heard on the radio, what you saw on television last night. Most people don't take the time to do their research, to do their discovery. There's no excuse today with the internet. You can become a Rhodes Scholar if you will just stop and take the time and look behind the curtain, check out the facts, do your homework.
Yeah. Date your decision. So let's talk about bowling alleys, classical music, and baseball stadiums.
Well, I'm ex-baseball coach, ex-football coach. I've been around a lot of very successful athletes, professional athletes too. So what I was fascinated with, how could you get in the batter's box and hit a fastball at 95 miles an hour if you had all this stuff going on? How do you concentrate? How do you calm yourself down?
Power of focus, huh?
It's beyond that. It's not only the power of the focus, it's calming your inner everything down, getting your pulse rate down to a manageable level so that you can concentrate. If your pulse rate is high, you can't concentrate. You can't hit that fastball at 95 miles an hour if you're not relaxed. These guys are incredibly relaxed. Through practice. They practice relaxing. They practice the techniques that it takes to relax so that they can see the ball. Can you imagine a fastball? You ever seen a fastball come in 95?
I've tried to hit one.
Yeah.
At a certain age where you can't hit it anymore.
I'll take you to the
It's going
batting
so
cage. I
fast.
still can hit. But it's technique. There's a technique for everything. You must have techniques in your mortgage business, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know them, but you know them. So if I was going to come in the mortgage business, you would teach me the techniques for winning to be a good mortgage
to be
broker.
successful. Now, those baseball players are extraordinary, and you need to give yourself permission to be an extraordinary. Tell us about that.
That's a great question. All of us, I believe, have true greatness inside of us. All of us have the ability to be real winners in life, but you have to give yourself permission. You have to hug yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You can't beat yourself up. You cannot. You have to be positive, genuinely inside of you and say, you absolutely have earned the right to be successful. And this is where I think people struggle. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different social economic behavior, and maybe they've been beaten down by the outside. But on the inside, there's greatness inside of you. And you just have to say, I love myself. Start with yourself first. Take care of yourself first.
And don't be afraid to be extraordinary, and don't listen to what others say.
No.
Because you can be that person you want to be. And that goes to the last question I have, one of the chapters, falling down, failing.
Failing is not getting up in the morning. We all fail. I still fail. But I don't call it failure. It's temporary defeat. For me, it's never failure. I make mistakes every day. Look, the difference between winners like you and everybody else, I guarantee you, Fred, that you're a risk taker. So am I. You have to be able to take risk in life. And if you can't take risk, you know what happens? You wind up settling. So most people settle, and that's not a good thing. You can't proceed. You can't get to where you want to go. You can't climb your mountain if you're settling all the time.
Love it. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Think-In Room with Coach Ron Tunick. Ron,
And Kyle Jellings.
Yeah, Kyle running the board. Yep.
Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome. And those that want to reach out to you, I know they can get this book online, but Coach,
they can call me or go to CoachRonTunick.com, Tunick, CoachRonTunick.com. You can call me on my cell, 805-358-6090, 358-6090. Love to chat with you.
love it. And those that want to send this inspirational video, because it will be on the internet, go to hometownstation.com. Just look at the show, Santa Cruz Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight, and you'll find it there.
What an honor to be with you, Fred.
Thank you very much.
What an honor, bud.
Great stuff. Good stuff. We're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is the Santa Cruz Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. Host Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS.